Hello and welcome to Gamesradar's Destiny video review. I am reviews editor Justin Towell and I'm here with Dave Houghton.
Hello.
And Dave wrote the review for us on the site. So Dave, I have to ask, obviously it's made by Bungie who made Halo.
Yeah.
How much like Halo is this?
There is a hell of a lot of Halo DNA in Destiny. It is very much its own game, but in terms of core handling, the second you pick up that pad, start moving and shooting dudes in the face, you will know exactly where you are if you've played Halo before. I mean, the weighting, the handling, that kind of sort of... The way that Master Chief's got that kind of heft, but he's also kind of very fluid with his movements and kind of very aerobatic, that's all absolutely Destiny all the way. The way the core gunplay works, the way it's like, again, very fast, very fluid, very kind of... There's a lot of emergent use of space and cover, a lot of kind of tactical spatial control, and obviously hell of a lot of aerobatic combat as well. It's very, 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 very Halo.
Sure, so it's like Halo, but online.
Kind of, it is more than that. I mean, at first everyone thought it was just going to be like Halo with leveling in a Borderlands style, which at first it kind of is. But the thing with Destiny, I mean, the reason we did a long-term 2-week review diary before we put the final review out, and I think we were justified in the end, is because the game evolves so many times over the course of the gameplay that like every 5 to 10 hours it's becoming a whole new experience, basically, by adding new systems and revealing old ones that you didn't really know were there all throughout.
So in terms of how you progress, I mean, how does this levelling system work? Because obviously there was this suggestion it was a 20 level cap.
Ha! Right. Yeah, how does levelling work? Which levelling system is the question, really. To start with, you have an initial level cap of 20, or so it seems. You'll get that through your standard XP, do missions, get XP, fills you up. You'll unlock new skills for your particular class's skill tree, or on the first of your 2 skill trees, because there's a second one that only kicks in at level 15. As you keep working through, you'll hit level 20 probably around the time you finish the main story. The main story, it's a bit slight, it's there just to give things a bit of structure, and I think realistically just to ease traditional FPS players into the way Destiny's going to work. You're like a bit of a safe zone, they can kind of, where things are familiar for a while. Yeah. But you finish that, you'll finish it around level 20. And then it turns out there's a whole new leveling system after that, which is based on a new stat called Light, which rather than being gained through normal experience is attached to special gear. So when you start getting post 20 and you start getting access to really good loot drops for like the new amazing like legendary armor rather. Some of that has a light stat to it. Right. And then and your level is then based on how much light you're carrying on your person at any given time. Sure. Literally what's equipped. If you take it off, it'll go back down again. Yeah. And that's what pushes you through the next set of levels, basically. Okay.
So would you say it's a grind getting through the game?
No, there is no grinding. Genuinely no grinding. I mean, first 20 levels, you play through it, fine. You'll just get there. It'll happen. Yeah. Level 20 onwards, I found, again, it's really smartly paced, because 20 to 24, I found I was getting tons of drops through the Crucible, which is the PVP multiplayer component, and through doing normal high-level missions, which obviously you can repeat on high levels with new settings, new mods, completely remix, so the whole new experiences. Up to level 24, I didn't have to buy any legendary gear, but which is good, because I couldn't at that point, because there's a new economy system that kicks in then, based on new points and new experience things that you build up after 20. Around 24 is roughly the period you start getting access to being able to buy stuff. And around 24 is the time the loot drops stop becoming as useful. Okay. So at that point, you can take full control of it yourself. Sure. So would you say that, because this sounds very complex, would you say that the game does a good job of explaining how this all works? No, the only reason Destiny does seem complex is because it doesn't do any kind of a job of communicating this stuff. Right. I mean, we were fortunate in that, obviously, during the first couple of weeks, we had a lot of people playing all the time, so we worked it out between us. Yeah. And to be fair, everything in-game does become clear when you need to know it. Yeah. It's just, you sort of need to know it before you need to know it sometimes. Right. You first get in there and you're immediately, all the vendors that sell the high level stuff are selling the high level stuff. Yeah. The moment you start. They're all asking for these currencies you've never heard of and these reputation systems that you've never heard of. And only around level 16 to 18 does it start explaining that that's a thing. Right. And only at level 20 does it really go, here's the real game, guys. And it's fine, because you know what you need to know when you need to know it. And presumably, but there are several hours of confusion before that. Yeah, but presumably you're talking with your friends, which is where the fun is anyway. Well, absolutely, this is about the community. It's about, I'd say it's you know, it's not a traditional linear FPS by any means. It's not maybe a full-scale MMO in a WoW style. It's like a connected MMO with a shared world, basically. So it's very much about the community getting through it together.
Sure. Okay, so obviously you're shooting a lot of dudes in the
Many
face.
dudes will die. So many dudes.
But what's the variety like between the enemies, and how good is the AI? How
It's
do they
good.
behave?
It's very good. I mean, it's not quite the same as Halo. It's very much inspired by the sort of, you know, very smart AI Halo has. It works slightly differently just because Destiny's gameplay is different to Halo's. But the way it works is you've got, I think, 4 or 5 planets at the moment. That will probably get expanded at some point. 4 or 5 planets with their own mission sets. Different kinds of missions on there. They've all got their own alien race, which are your core enemy set on that one. Each enemy race is slightly different to the others, but the thing that unifies them is they all have that brilliant Halo-style kind of hierarchy of enemies, where you've got your general small mob guys who are sort of like your grunts and your jackals, you've got your higher-up guys, you've got your big brutey enforcer guys who are, well, brutes, basically. They've all got an equivalent of that sort of stuff, so there's always really smart on-the-fly strategy going on, based on dealing with different sizes of guys, different combinations, which again changes when it starts remixing missions later on. But individual enemy is good as well. It's maybe not quite as nuanced as Halo's, but yeah, I mean, you know, the last guy will start taking cover and backing off. They'll know when the numbers are getting thinned out. Some units will flank you more than others will. It's always a satisfying fight, which I think is part of the reason it never feels like a grind either. Because no matter how much you technically redo content, even though you sort of don't really, given the remixing of it, and no matter how much you play multiplayer to get certain currencies through that as well, because the core experience is always just consistently fun as pure FPS. You never feel like you're slogging for the sake of slogging.
Fair enough. And of course there's the Crucible, which is the PvP, player versus player area. How good is the PvP?
It's brilliant. I've put probably as many hours, if not more, into that than anything else. There's every single night I go on there now, even 2 weeks later, I know I won't need to find people, they'll just be in there.
So would you say that it's worth buying this instead of something like Battlefield 4, just to play online?
It's a very different game to Battlefield 4. I mean, it's not quite got the scale of Battlefield yet. I mean, I think it's missing that Halo-style big team battle mode at the moment. I'd love to see that at some point. But yeah, I mean, I'd say I'm having as much fun with it and probably playing it more than I with Halo 4 multiplayer. So, and the thing is, the difference is that the Crucible is fully integrated into the overall world and the economy and the way, you know, all the game's interlocking world systems work. So it doesn't work in quite a standalone fashion. But once you get it unlocked at about level 4 or 5, you could, if you wanted to, just go in there and play it. The only thing is, the difference is that your character's persistent. So you'll be using the gear in Crucible that you'll be using in PvE as well. So you will kind of want to play both sides. And
of course, I did say solely for playing online. The game is only online.
It's only online. You're playing nothing offline. No.
But I mean, how good is the infrastructure? Are there lots of disconnects?
No, I've barely had a blip in 2 weeks, and I thought at least the first few days would be an absolute clattering shambles.
Because it's always.
Because when is that not the case in an online game? Generally, no. I've had in 2 weeks maybe 4 disconnects. One of which I think was part of a problem with the PSN overall that lasted about half an hour the other night. No, generally it's been fine. Matchmaking is usually very quick, whether you're looking for people in PvP or PvE. It's generally good at. I mean, generally I've found in PvE at least matching you people on the same sort of levels. Really smart. Generally it's been an utterly seamless experience so far.
I have to say I've played up to level 18, so not quite as far along as you, but I haven't had any disconnects at all. It's been rock solid, so really impressive, especially as you say,
witchcraft
just
is this?
Now obviously Activision have put aside, is it $2.5? No, it was $500 million, wasn't it?
Terrifying amounts of money.
$500 million for a 10-year plan for making Destiny. So what are you getting for your money here? I mean, is this worth the sort of £55 you have to pay?
Of course it is. I mean, you are getting a lot more than a lot of maybe the less charitable corners of the internet are implying, in that you get the main story, which you could do maybe 2 or 3 days. I mean, my view's a bit skewed because obviously I took 3 days off work and hammered it constantly. But you know, it's a decent sized campaign. It's not as small as some people are thinking. It'll take you a few days to get through. Then you'll get to about 20-ish, and then the real game starts at 20, when obviously the full-scale game and all its systems become revealed. And it becomes a much more involved experience then, much more player-led. It changes massively, and that has got I mean, I can't even see how many legs that's got, because it's got all the legs.
All the legs.
But yeah, you've got the main story, you've got 5 planets, you've got PvP, you've got every day there's a new daily challenge, which is an existing story or strike mission cranked up and remixed to a new level. Every week rather, you've also got the weekly strike mission, which is some seriously hard stuff. Which you will, increasingly as it goes on, you will need better teams, more experience, and better gear, and more understanding of the game's kind of sort of meta RPG mechanics as well to get through. They've dropped new multiplayer modes every weekend so far that have been there as a weekend special. And like I said, just the core content right now, I've got at least 50 to 60 hours out of.
Wow.
And I still feel like I've got plenty to do just with what's here.
Yes, so, and it's not like they're going to abandon it anytime soon. This is a 10-year plan.
This is Bungie's career for the next decade, basically, And let's face it, I mean, no one has in shooters at least, has managed to maintain an active, living platform community better than Halo.
Right.
Better than Bungie did with Halo over the last decade or so. So with a full MMO, or MMO-ish game, I've got every faith they're going to nail it.
Excellent. And your score?
Of course it's 4.5 stars. That's a completely different thing. I mean, it's just because it's going to grow, I had to leave it space to kind of grow, basically, because I'm sure it will.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thanks very much for talking us through it.
No problem at all.
So if you'd like to read Dave's full review on Gamesradar, then do check out gamesradar.com and look out for more Destiny coverage in the near future, and presumably for the next 10 years.